right, so now let's try some of these graphs, and well, you may notice something is going on with these particular ones. Thus far, we've been building these based off, the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, where you've got a slope and you've got an intercept and we've got a slope, but we don't really have a super clear intercept. It's kind of somewhere in between here. So, well, before we go into that, I am going to say what that looks like it might be about. It looks like our y-intercept is about, and remember the squiggly equal sign means about, well, it's a little bit bigger than 1, but it's not quite 2. It's somewhere in the middle, so it's probably about 1.5. We'll come back to that. Okay, so how on earth can we actually figure this out then? Well, let's try slope first, because that's actually something we can solve. Slope is going to be your rise over run, so let's start here. We're going to go to this point, so my rise is going to be going up 1, 2, and then my run is 1, 2, 3, 2 over 3, from 2 and 3. All right, cool. Well, I've got a slope. My intercept is only about, so I can't really use that in my actual final answer. I'm not even done with this yet. That's not an equals. Okay, well, what can I do? Let's see, I've got a slope, I've got some points. Hey, we know a form for that. Don't we have point-slope form? So we've got point-slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m, parentheses, x minus x1. You know what? I think we can work with this, because we've got a slope and we've got a point that we can use. Well, let's see what we have to pick between. This one's going to be 2, 3. This one is going to be 5, 5. And remember, for this point, you always want to use positive numbers if you can, and try to use the simpler numbers. So, you know what? I'm going to pick 2, 3 because it's smaller. So I've got my slope here. Let's plug it all in. Y minus, I'm going to use 2, 3. So y is the 3. There we go. Equals, and then my slope, which I do know is 2/3. So many colors. X minus, and then my x in that point is the 2. Whew. All right, let's go. We're going to go ahead and simplify this, and we're still not done with this equal sign. So let's see, y minus 3, and now I've got 2/3. Remember, we're distributing to this number and to this number. So 2/3 x minus 4/3. You know what? It's looking promising. All right, from here, I need more space. Ha-ha. We're going to add this 3. Add this 3. Now the 3 is going to add to this part, not the x, because those aren't like terms. We've got y equals, and I'm still not done with that equals, 2/3 x. And then let's see, this is about 9 over 3. That's what this is. You know what? Plug this into your calculator. Should get 5/3, I believe, right? Now we've actually got our b. And let's see if it ends up being about what I thought it was going to be. So this is about, well, that's exactly 1 2/3, which is about 1.5. So I think I'm on the right track with that. Excellent. So now we just need to figure out what's going on with this equal sign actually. This is not an equal sign. Look at this. We've got a dotted line and we've got some shading down here. So let's figure out what this should be instead. We've got, you know what? Let's just erase that equal sign. Ha-ha. Let's work from here. So now we've got, let's see, where is the shading? Well, the shading seems to be below our line. And remember, if the shading is below our line, it's going to be less than. Now we need to check and see if it should be or equal to. Well, that dotted line looks like that line is not included, which means this shouldn't be included. We leave it as just less than. All right, is that a good enough explanation for this slide? Okay, I'm sorry, I just wanted to double check. All right, try this one on your own, and let's go ahead and solve it. So for here, once again, we've got y equals mx plus b is our goal. But we need to start with point-slope form. So we've got y minus y1 equals m, parentheses, x minus x1. Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and find out what m should be first. M is going to be our rise over run. I've got 2 points. It looks like here we're going down, and that matches because our slope is going down, so we know it's going to be a negative. So we're going to go down 1, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 as our run. 1/3, but again, it's negative slope. Very good. All right. So now we've got that, y minus, my points here are, oops, 5, 0, and 2, 1. Honestly, pick your favorite between the two. I'm going to pick 2, 1.
Why not 5, 0? 0 is so easy.
You know what? That's a good point, Mr. Craig. Let's use 0. So we've got y minus 0 equals negative 1/3, parentheses x minus 5. Hey, nice. All right. So now we've got y, and that's it. Check that out. We're already done with this side, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. Now let's just go ahead and simplify this side. Still circling that because I'm not done with it. Distribute here and here. We've got negative 1/3 y, or x, my bad, minus, well, let's see. This is going to be a negative times minus a number, so we already know that's going to be positive. So 1/3 times 5 is 5/3. And let's see if this actually checks out. 5/3 is 1.6 again, so 1 2/3. Yeah, and it looks like our number over here, our slope would be a little bit more than 1, but not quite 2. So yeah, I think that checks out. We're all good there. Now, last thing we got to figure out is that equal sign, because we still weren't done with it. There we are. Y. All right, well, it looks like our shading is above the graph this time, which means it's greater than. Is our line included? Well, that is a solid line, not a dotted line, so yes, it is included. All right. All right, so for this one, let's try a different way to solve this, because that's not the only way we know how to solve these. So, for instance, we have slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Well, I may not have b, but I do have m. We've been doing that, so let's go ahead and do m equals, starting from here, going to here, looks like my slope is going to be a rise of 1 and a run of 2. Can't really see the blue in the blue there. Or red in the red. I know colors. There we go. All right, double check. Our slope is going up, so it should be positive because this is a positive slope. Checks out. Okay. But here's the thing. I have m. I also have an x and a y, just like we've been doing for point slope form. I've got 2 of them, in fact. So one of them is here at 3, 2. One of them is up here at 5, 4. Let's pick one of these. Let's use 3, 2. Why not? So let's just plug those numbers in. Because y is 2 equals m, which is that 1/2. Now instead of x, I'm going to put my x for this point right here is what I'm using. 3 plus b. Now check this out. B is the only thing in this equation that we do not know. So you know what? Let's just get it by itself. We'll actually have our slope-intercept form, or we'll actually have our y-intercept. All right, let's do 2, and then this is going to be 3/2 plus b. Now remember, this is our variable that we're trying to get alone, so we're going to go ahead and subtract this 3/2. Subtract 3/2. So that leaves us with 1/2 is our b. And you know what? That checks out because our intercept looks like it crosses a little bit above 0, but not quite at 1. Excellent. So now let's just go back to this and build it from there. Y equals, wait a second. We're not going to use equals. 1/2 x plus the 1/2 that we got from down here. Now let's figure out what the inequality is. All right, well, it's shaded above, so that means greater than. Is it included? Well, this dotted line says that that line is not included, so it does not get an or equal to. And there's your answer. Nice. All right, try this one out. Okay, let's go over it. Let's use the exact same way we solved the last one, though if you did it on your own in a different way, that's all right. Just check your answer, make sure you ended up in the same place. All right, y equals mx plus b. We're going to find our m first. So m starting from here, going to here, we're going to go 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so m is going to be 1/4, but wait, let's double check and make sure we've got the sign right. So from here, positive, negative, it's going down. Our slope should be a negative 1/4. Excellent. Our 2 points that we've got over here, this one is, let's write up here, 3, 2. This one is 7, 1. All right, which one should we pick? Well, it doesn't look like neither one is particularly easy compared to the other, so let's just pick 3, 2. So we're going to use 3, 2. So 2 equals negative 1/4, and then instead of x, I'm going to put 3 plus b. Let's solve for this and get what our b is. Negative 3/4 plus b. I got my 2 here. Add 3/4 here. Add 3/4 here. Oops. That is hard to write a fraction here and make it clear what we're doing. All right, so that's going to be 11/4. Mr. Craig,
How
you want
about
to check
2
that
and
for me?
3/4?
2 and 3/4?
It's ugly no matter what.
That's true. So either way, you end up with the correct answer here. So that could also be 11/4. That face is kind of displeased with the number as well. And this is going to be what our b is. It doesn't particularly matter which one it is, though this one might be a little easier to count up. So let's double check using this number. 2 and 3/4 is about where our b should be. Actually, it should be exactly where our b is. Let's check this. 1, 2, and then it's not quite 3, but it's not quite the half either. It's somewhere in between the half and the 3. So yeah, checks out. Excellent. So, starting from here again. I've got my y, and I've got my slope is going to be negative 1/4 x plus 2 and 3/4, or 11/4. Either way works just as well. Now let's figure out what should go in this part right here. Okay, well, shaded above, it's going to be greater than. The line is dotted, which means it is not included, so it stays like this. There you are.